Hello again, shed mates, and welcome back to the hobby shed. Today we are going to be doing none other than Legions Imperialis, namely my Adeptus Astartes grouping that I'm going to do, and I've chosen Ravenguard. I was going to do this whole piece about shattered legions and stuff like that, but I thought, well, actually I'll just stick with the Ravenguard for now, and then over time maybe I'll add little bits to it that I just think, oh, I'll do some salamanders, or I'll do some, you know, what the other ones, white scars and stuff like that. Because when I first put the primer on these, I was like, I want to do them white scars, and I thought they look good already with just a bit of primer. But they're going to be Ravenguard this mob. Let's go into it. How am I going to get that done? Obviously they're very small models, so I'm going to be breaking out the big guns for this. This is a 100mm macro, and it will allow me to get zoomed right into all that juicy detail, especially when it comes to the actual Marines themselves rather than the tanks. I've got that on my Canon RP attached with a Viltrox speed booster, so it should give us exactly what we need to nail this. I'm also going to bring out this little magnifying glass. Now, I've had this for a while, but I've never really had a chance to do a good going over, but it will come into play on this one. That combined with my glasses should mean that it works out all right. In the background, I've also made myself a, what would you call it? Dry brush palette. There we go, dry brush palette. Just took a load of bits onto this, some of the texture paint, some crackle paint, and then gave it a spray. It's just something for me to quickly go over, you know, clues in the name. Something for me to quickly go over when I'm dry brushing. I can literally dab it on this, take a lot of the paint off. But yeah, no further ado on this one. Let's get cracking into this. I may do a paint with Mike as we go along, but at this stage I'm hoping just to get these nailed, get these cracked, put a nice little video out, and then we move on to the next one. But we'll see. Let's enjoy this. So all the tanks have been primed, all the turrets have been done as well. So I've got all the weapon options. I didn't bother with separate weapon options for the sponsons, I just literally glued them in place. Just did variations. Yeah, in the background I have been looking at, you know, upcoming content, what else I could do. And there's a raft of stuff in here. From Death Guard, Necrons, various boxes like Space Hulk, Cursed City? Deathwatch Overkill, Necromunda. There's all sorts of bits I can be getting on with. I really as well want to dial into some of my older stuff now. We've just had the release of the Old World. A lot of my older stuff is now current again, or with a bit of shake up. I'm not going to bother doing any large scale rebasing. I'm just going to get the some adapters to change mine over. Let's have a go at the tank. Look. Citadel painting stand with a blob of blue tack on it. It seems to be doing a decent job of holding the tank in place. I mean, even with just the primer on them, I thought the detail on them is great. And it just like fills me with hope that eventually we can get to epic 40k again. About 30 years ago, I was gifted Space Marine box set as a Christmas present. And then this year, Christmas 2023, I received the updated version. Legions Imperialis. That's what this video is all about. Here we are. Obviously, we are not in the shed, but we are in a hotel, and I've managed to make a quick setup using the hotel facilities, and this is probably the cleanest desk space you'll ever see me have. So there's something, you know, to be gathered there. project stalled a little, but I'm kind of chipping away at it in the background. What I've managed to do is complete the base coats. I've also had a go at doing a small amount of the kind of power weapons, or the kind of like fusion weapons, and utilizing some of the contrast paints to deliver that kind of effect. It's not been as great, but I'll kind of like work into it as we go, and see what I can pull back. The next phase is I'm just going to apply a highlight to everything, probably Corax white, something like that. I'm going to apply a highlight to everything, and then I'll get busy with the bolt gun. And then we should be in some kind of decent shape from there. On the bases, I wasn't too keen on I think it's Basilica Grey I've got on the bases, so I'm actually going to go over with, going to dirt him up a bit more with some Astrogonite debris, and then I'll go over with something like, I don't know, Dawnstone over the top, just to give it a bit of a layering and a bit of a highlight there. But I don't see these taking too much longer. I'm just going to dive into what I can now and see how we get on. But hopefully, a good night on it tonight. Maybe we'll be back in the shed next week, or I may get a chance to have another crack at it tomorrow night, but we'll see. But if not, we'll be back in the shed and normal service will resume. Okay, let's get into it. Hello, we're back in the hobby shed, and I'm going to start with a super apology. I've been procrastinating far too long about getting back into these epic Space Marines for Legiones Astartes. Now, Legiones Imperialis even. Yeah, I've been procrastinating far too long. For some reason, I got in my head that I wasn't really into what I was doing and where I'd gone. And had a few, real life things going on. It's been quite a while since I've actually been back in the shed, and I'm kind of disappointed in myself, but I'm here now, and that's the main thing. I'm sure we all go through this, where you have your ups and downs with the hobby, and getting that motivation to come out and pull out a paintbrush can sometimes be a bit difficult. Lots of real life noises going on, obviously, with it getting into spring now. We've got more light. You can probably hear the Tweety birds, which is probably quite pleasant. But there's also people doing stuff in gardens, and I've even got the dog out here who's chewing on a bit of cowhide or something. Yeah, he's having a nice time out there chewing, so I'm hoping that doesn't get picked up in the audio, but we'll try and minimise it as best we can anyway. But enough chit chat. I'm going to get into these. All I've got to do potentially is some lead belcher around the weapon systems. Update do the banners and battle damage for the vehicles, and maybe a couple of the dreadnoughts. And I think we can call it. There. Maybe some highlights, but then I think we can call it. So let's push on. I'll see if we can get these done. Stay with me. Thank you. Pretty flipping tiny, like. Let's just make some space here. So Guys, that actually took me far too long to be getting that done. But we got there in the end, and that's the main thing. Got sidetracked a lot this one by, you know, some real life issues, which I won't go into. But we all get those. We all get those. And as long as we keep going back to the hobby, then that is the main thing. Throughout this video, you saw me repping different bits of merchandise that I'm starting to look into. I've got the sweater, the black t-shirt, and also a sports top. So you'll see more of them as time goes on, and maybe I'll drop something onto the Facebook and Insta, which is a good segue. If you're not following the Facebook or the Insta pages, please do so. It's all under the Hobby Shed, but I'll drop links in the description. So if you've made it this far, thanks for watching this long, and thanks for staying with us. I'm pleased with the outcome. I think they will look nice on the table. I've got some ruins as well that I've just had a look at building and potentially putting together. And that might be something I just pull out, or maybe do a little short of. Some of these videos are never going to be enough to warrant 10 minutes. But certainly, you know, a quick short, just to show how I've done something. What have I got coming up? I think next I might just do a quick small project before tackling something big again, which is going to be the Ravenguard full boss lieutenant. No, a full boss lieutenant in Ravenguard from, what's it called? Forget the name of it now. From the new 40k anyway, yeah. From the new 40k, that full boss lieutenant, yeah, this guy. One with the two blades, and the Tyranid that he's just stabbed in the head. Yeah, so we'll do that next. Something nice, quick and easy, nothing too stressful. And I'll slowly come back to, you know, maybe having more time to tackle some of the big projects, which I'm thinking is going to be Stormcast. Yeah, Stormcast, I think, is going to be a big upcoming project. Mainly because I want something to sell at the, I plan on doing the what you call it, the Whittle war boot. Yeah, I think doing a few war boots here and there, elements, Whittle. I'm coming along and just setting up a stand where basically I sit and paint and say hello to people as they come along. But yeah. But that's where I'm at. I hope you are all good and groovy and you're getting your paint on. Yeah, see you in the next one. Take care.